to give the floor to Cyrus Angerer, who is also a member of our intergroup on children's rights, member of the LGBT intergroup from Malta. Cyrus.
Thank you, Emilio. Thank you, Karen, for organizing this today. And thank you, Evan, as well, for your work in the Socialists and Democrats group with regards to children's rights. From my first day in the European Parliament, I used to get, Evan is my neighbor in our corridor on our floor, and she knocks on my door. And from day one, she told me, listen, we need to work on children's rights when it comes to LGBTI families and other issues within the LIBE committee, since we share the same committees in the European Parliament, and we're working very hard to make sure that children's voices are heard and in the LIBE committee and in the European Parliament, together with Mark as well in the LGBTI intergroup. I was very happy to hear yourself speak, young people, and I think many a times we should maybe, as politicians, step back and hear more what children have to say, not only in the context of LGBTI rights, but in other fora that we work on in the European Parliament. And I know that this is something that Her Excellency Marie-Louise does so very well back home in Malta, where she has put, not only because Emilio gave a lot of history of what Marie-Louise did back home, but it doesn't start only when she became president in Malta, but she did the same when she was Minister for Family and Social Solidarity, and she did the same when she was the Secretary General of the Labour Party and the President of the Women's Organization in the Labour Party back in the days when probably I wasn't even born, but we have heard all the great stories of what she has done. And by putting children at the forefront, stating for themselves what they need, is what we need to do as well, even more in the European Parliament. And I hope that leaders like Viktor Orban in Hungary and others get the chance to hear what these children have to say, because these politicians describe these children as an ideology, when in reality, these children are human beings who have human rights, who have their life ahead of them, and who need policies and laws in their member states, but in our European Union and globally, in order to be able to live a fulfilled life, and that their aspirations can, at the end of the day, be reached within their lifetime by their work, by doing what they want to do, and that we should never put up barriers as politicians from allowing them to achieve their dreams. And I wanted to make a small remark as to what the President of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, told us in the European Parliament when she said that if you are a parent in one country, then you are a parent in all of the member states. And that is something good. But now we need to move from words to action. And therefore, the Commission must propose legislation that at the end of the day, it knows that it has a chance to pass in our legislative bodies, the Council and the European Parliament, because it is obvious that by the way that it might be proposing these proposals, things will get stuck in Council if it is that article that will at the end of the day apply to this legislation. And that is something that we cannot accept in the European Parliament. And I'm sure that both intergroups will be making a very strong case for this. We will do the same case in the LIBE committee, which will probably be the committee that will take care of these legislative proposals in order to see that we, at the end of the day, can reach a result that we can, at the end of the day, achieve the result that is the best result for these children. And I would maybe ask the President of the Commission to also change what she has said, because in reality, it is true that a parent in one country should be a parent in all countries, but at the end of the day, what is more important, I believe, is that if a child has parents in one country, then that child should have parents in all European member states. And that should never be even in doubt. So that is what we need to work on. But apart from this, I wanted to also mention one other issue which really needs us to address it and address it quickly. We have a situation in Europe where we are having stateless children who are born to two parents of the same sex. I can mention, for instance, the example of Sarah, who was born to two mothers in Spain. One of her mothers is from Gibraltar, the other mother is from Bulgaria. And Till today, she was born in 2019. We're now in 2021. Till today, this child has no citizenship anywhere in the European Union. She is stateless, notwithstanding the fact that she has two European mothers. And this is something that is definitely not in the best interest of the child, and it is something that we need to strongly work on. Bulgaria fought this in the European Court of Justice by saying that the Belgian government basically kept on insisting in front of the court that the marriage in question went against Bulgaria's national identity. But then my question is, what is our national identity? Shouldn't that reflect who our people are? And aren't these people part of our national identity? Isn't this child part of our European Union and our European identity at the end of the day? So I think that as European Union, we must be even stronger also on one other point, and I conclude with this. When a member state joins the European Union, we joined in 2004 as a country, we knew that we were joining a set of values that we adhered to. And by joining the European Union, we committed ourselves to that set of values. And so did Poland and Hungary on the same day that we joined, as well as a number of other countries with us on that day. And I think that we must work harder in the European Parliament and others. Those set of values were there before we joined. They are common to us all, and they are above any laws that we might have or that we might enact in the future in our member states, because no other law can be in conflict with those values.
Why the person chairing the plenary sessions has the ability to